family reciting the Heine Creed. Believe me, you'll get goosebumps as you watch 8 Heinies all talking to you at the same time. And don't you worry about the kids getting bored, because they'll be taken to Heine Land, where they can play while you enjoy the Hall of Fame. The kids will all get a chance to try Shirley Temple Heine, and don't worry, Mom, there is no alcohol in Shirley Temple Heine. And they will have a blast on the Heine Hop, an entire room full of trampolines shaped like Heine wine cans. You'll want a picture of this one as your child jumps from Heine to Heine on the Heine Hop. So this year, while you're planning your mini trips, include the Heine Hall of Fame at the Heine Winery in beautiful French Lick. For more information, call the winery at 999-BARF. That's 999-BARF. And as Big Red says, make our Heine a big part of your summer.
16 minutes past 7. Gary Todd at WIBC. 70 degrees with cloudy skies, and that shouldn't be there because our Indianapolis forecast is talking about mostly sunny and fair through tomorrow with a high today of 88 degrees. Today's a very special day if your name is Tom Bachman. Tom, a happy birthday from your wife, Marcy, from your family and all the IPACA members and friends. You see, Tom is hitting the big 4-0 today, and I didn't know what the not IP, it's the IDACA stood for. And then our research department came up with the fact that Tom is celebrating his 40th with members of the International Drinking and Canoeing Association. I tell you what, I'm going to sneak down to the parking lot here at 9292 North Meridian and help pour some more of that Tropicana Pure Premium and give away the Tropicana hats and the gift certificates right after this.
Just to know that's a love song playing.
I'm making my move to Canada Dry. So long to sweet things I'm ready to try. A soft drink that's right, ginger ale crisp and to Canada Dry.
Aren't you ready for Canada Dry ginger ale?
When shopping for mixers, look for 1-liter Canada Dry products on display at the following liquor stores: Payless, Allied, and Dollar Stretcher.
At WIBC, 21 minutes past 7. What a beautiful morning. I have moved from upstairs down to the parking lot at 9292 North Meridian. And I was just checking, and we've had about 50 people stop by so far, say good morning. We forwarded them a fresh Tropicana Pure Premium OJ to get their day started. We've given them the Tropicana, I call it a golf hat, some people call it a fishing hat, others call it a gardening hat, and Big John calls it a free hat. So I think we'll go with Big John's definition of our Tropicana hat, and we're also giving you a certificate. So next time you go shopping, you can stop at your favorite supermarket and pick up a carton of Tropicana Pure Premium and take it home and share it with the entire family. We've even got curb service. We've got people pulling up in their automobiles, and we're handing it out. We've got people who have stood in line earlier that we've talked to, so if you are in the vicinity of 92 North Meridian, we invite you to come right on by. We're set up now. If you're on Meridian Street, it's kind of confusing. If you have not been here before, the front of the building is the back. So what you do is drive around behind 92 North Meridian, and you will see us set up here, and we'll be happy to give you some juice. As a matter of fact, here's a gentleman coming up here now. What's your name?
Sedberry, Irwin Sedberry.
Irwin, well, have some OJ here, Pure Premium from Tropicana. Now, John Gillis calls that a free hat. I call it a golf hat. What do you call it?
That's a free hat.
A free hat, okay. Well, you got your cap and you got your certificate for some Pure Premium. So while it lasts, come on by and have some OJ with us this morning here at WIBC.
If you've got athlete's foot, Aptate is the athlete's foot.
WIBC puts it in the bag for you, free at the great Indiana State Fair. Just stop by one of our 2 booths at the State Fairgrounds and say hello, and then grab a hold of one of our world-famous big white and red shopping bags. Inside, you'll find a special bonus, the free WIBC Incredible Coupon Book, with valuable coupons from 16 sponsors worth a total of over $1,070 in value.
Inside, you'll find a coupon worth hundreds of dollars towards the purchase of a car at Bill Weiss Oldsmobile. And Amish Acres Napanee, Indiana offers a coupon good for savings up to 5 people on total experience tickets, including admission.
To find one of the WIBC State Fair booths, go to Turn 3 area near the Natural Resources Building, or look for us across from the Agriculture Building in the Turn 4 area near the entrance to the Midway. The WIBC State Fair shopping bag for 1983 with the incredible coupon book inside, all from 1070 WIBC.
move 'em, sell 'em all, the savings high and the profit small. We might not make a single dime, but we gotta move 'em. We've gotta move 'em all out. This is our biggest closeout sale ever, and we've got the biggest savings ever for you. We're singing, close 'em fast. You like saving cash. We took all this and made it rhyme to make a song called Closeout Time. Get a closeout on an 83 Chevy at Bud Wolf Chevrolet, 1045 East 62nd Street. Broad Ripple's largest Chevy dealer.
As First Federal, we were founded and grew on our commitment to home loans. As First Indiana, we continue that tradition. And now when prospective home buyers thought they were out of the home market, First Indiana. So for affordable mortgage loans, come to First Indiana, where you've come to expect more.
Well, we're getting ready for our news break at 7:30, but we just want to say good morning. A couple of more people. As a matter of fact, we got cars lined up in the parking lot here. What's your name?
Thelma Vandal.
Thelma, on your way to work?
Yes, sir.
Where are you going?
Next door.
Next door? Well, that's you're one of our working neighbors, right?
That's right.
Well, at least you're not going to go to work thirsty this morning, because I see you got your cup of Tropicana Pure Premium there. You got your cap and your certificate, so you're all ready for the day.
I sure am.
Okay, thanks for coming by. Let me walk back quickly, and we'll say hi to one more here, Jed, before we get our toes run over. We've got curb service this morning at 9292 North Meridian. Just before we take our news break, say good morning to who?
Good morning to Gary Fortner.
Gary, where are you going?
Back to work.
Where's back to work?
Carmel Schools.
Uh-oh. It's about time to open the doors for the kids, isn't it?
Next week.
Next week. We'll have some Tropicana Pure Premium. Listen, we're going to break for our news. You keep on coming by while it lasts. We've got your Tropicana hats, your Pure Premium OJ, and your certificates, and we'll talk to you right after our news break.
Radio Indiana. WIBC, Indianapolis.
They're calling it the Dust Bowl.
City firemen fight a pair of fires.
I'm Fred Heckman.
I'm Joe Pickett, and this is WIBC News for AHM Graves Realtors.
Sunday afternoon, city police had to cover a shooting in the Dust Bowl Park near Roosevelt and Lawrence, and another shooting in the 2300 block of Guilford. 49-year-old Moses Medley is charged with both. Homicide detective Bill Burgess says he's the man who got in an argument with a young man near the park. His car collided with the young man's moped, and the trouble started when the young man left and came back with a gun. Burgess says Medley got his own gun and started shooting.
The subject was running away from him and through the very crowded park. In the shooting at the man, they struck young man Freeman.
9-year-old Ricky Freeman was not seriously hurt, nor was 34-year-old Lorraine Young when she was shot on the foot in the 2300 block of Guilford. Police say the suspects in the car wanted guns and shot the woman when she wouldn't give them more guns. Police say more people in the park could have been wounded or killed when the shots were fired into the crowd. All those involved were black. Officials of the National Urban League are using Indianapolis as one of 6 cities to fight the problem of black-on-black crime. Ron Johnson of the Urban League says they're ready to face the problem.
Crime has always been there, but there's been no clear message relative to how the black community has felt about crime. Obviously, if you don't participate in the mainstream of life, there are undercurrents relative to how people survive. And that's always been present in the black community. However, we think if we're going to talk about moving into the mainstream, and that responsible blacks must get up and speak about crime in black community. And I think it is the beginning of that broader message to simply say it must stop.
That's Ron Johnson of the Urban League.
The parents of a Virginia high school student say a curse from the game Dungeons and Dragons led to their son's suicide, and they have filed suit against the school's principal, saying he was negligent in allowing the game to be played. The boy, 16-year-old Irving Lee Pulling II, died of a single gunshot wound to the chest in June of last year. In the lawsuit, his parents say a curse was placed on their son by another Dungeons and Dragons player. The suit says the curse was intended to inflict emotional distress on Pulling at a time when he was already under emotional pressure from playing the game. The parents say the principal at Patrick Henry High School, Dr. Robert Bracey, was aware of the dangers posed by Dungeons and Dragons. Attorneys for Bracey say he is immune from such a suit because he is a public official.
It's 7:33.
This is Tom Osborne, president of AHM Graves Realtors. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We sell a house every 2 hours, every day. And that is based on a 20-hour work day, or better than 10 homes a day. Not bad, huh? Some of our competitors may say they represent more than twice as many buyers and sellers than any other company. If that's true, it must have been a long time ago. Frankly, we would rather talk about the present, the way it is today. Even though they may appear to have more properties for sale than we do, we sell a higher percentage of our listings, giving us market dominance in almost every marketing area. And that's what our sellers want. Graves has more sold signs than any other company. If you have a home to sell, call the winners. Any one of our trained real estate professionals will be happy to show you how to make your home the most marketable property in your neighborhood. Remember, Graves is #1 in service.
Pair of fires in the city this morning. One of them is out, another is under control. The first in a substation of Power and Light at 21st and Leland. Power went out there at 4:15 this morning. The fire was reported about a half hour later. IPL Repair Central says the electricity to people in the area of 21st and Emerson was out until 5:05, a period of about 50 minutes this morning. The second fire was reported in a warehouse in the 200 block of West Arizona. WIBC's Jim Vincent is covering that story.
Plastic goods, which added to the fire. The Indianapolis statue. There were some minor injuries from the two-alarm fire on the near south side of Indianapolis. A Carnival Supply warehouse was destroyed by fire. The two-alarm blaze broke out just after 5 o'clock. The Indianapolis Statuary Supply Company contained paper and plastic supplies which helped add to the fire. Houses on either side of the building were also damaged. One belonged to Brenda Stillman. How that happened?
Hurt.
Hurt? You weren't scared?
No. Scared for the house
How many
and my
people?
family. Just my daughter and my husband.
So no problem. You got everybody out?
Yeah, we got everybody out.
Firefighters next to a wall that collapsed early were slightly injured. A small boy watching the fire from atop a roof was also overcome by heat. He was treated at the scene. Power was off in the area for a short while, and morning traffic on South Meridian was also backed up. Jim Vincent, WIBC News.
The number of workers on strike against AT&T has grown by some 40,000, a tenth of that number here in Indianapolis. If all 4,000 local workers go on strike, we have no way of telling at this hour how effective the strike is. Although WIBC's John Gillis in the 1070 chopper has spotted and stopped an interesting item while over the Shadeland Avenue plant.
We are, as a matter of fact, over the Shadeland Avenue plant, and we're noticing quite a bit more traffic now moving into the lot, the north lot here. Folks that normally arrive at 7:30 apparently running a little bit late. But northbound on Shadeland, you'll find traffic going quite slow because of people making their way through the picket lines, apparently without too much problem, and into the lot which is normally quite full now, a little bit less than half. But as we say, there's a slow stream of folks arriving for work this morning. So we'll just kind of keep our eye on that. Now, as we circle, you've got sunshine on the intersection of 465 and 70, but a little light precipitation falling down here just on the west side of Shadeland. Don't think it'll affect things too much, but that is what's happening. We'll keep you advised here at WIBC.
Continental Airlines is getting tough with its striking mechanics. The Houston-based airline has given notice that workers' jobs will be waiting for them if they report to work today. If they don't, they'll be replaced permanently. The 2,000 members of the Machinist Union walked off the job early Saturday.
The chairman of Chemical Bank predicts the prime rate will be a bit lower by the end of the year. But Donald Platten, interviewed on CBS yesterday, said interest rates on the whole won't drop significantly until the federal deficit is brought under control. He says an interest rate decline could mean a boom in the housing industry since there's a big demand for homes. Wholesale gasoline prices have dropped, but oil industry analyst Dan Lundberg says drivers are paying more at the pump anyway. Lundberg says dealers apparently are making up for lower profits in the past months when gas costs rose. In his words, the motorists can't win for losing.
The Reagan administration is insisting the U.S. military exercises in Central America are necessary to discourage communist aggression, no matter what Mexico thinks. Secretary of State Schultz says U.S. ships are there to demonstrate that Washington has what he calls considerable deterrent possibility. The remarks followed yesterday's meeting in La Paz, Mexico, between President Reagan and Mexican President Miguel de la Madrid. The Mexican leader criticized the U.S. action, saying Central American countries should be left alone.
France setting up heavily armed position on Chad's forward lines north of the African capital. The French plan to bring in more reinforcements, increasing the number of troops there to nearly 700. But informed sources say there have also been direct diplomatic contacts between France and Libya, the Libyans supporting the rebel troops fighting in northern Chad.
At a fundamentalist meeting in Anaheim, California yesterday, Interior Secretary James Watt compared abortion proponents with Germans who remained silent while millions were sent to Nazi death camps. Watt also condemned the nuclear freeze movement and the ban on school prayer.
A Soviet cargo spaceship said to be heading for Earth with a shipment from an orbiting space station. Radio Moscow says cosmonauts loaded a half-ton of cargo from the space station Salyut 7.
A young honeymooner in Las Vegas was planning on heading back to her hotel room yesterday, but she's probably glad friends talked her out of it. Annette Barrios of Santa Paula, California, dropped $3 in a slot machine and got back well over $1 million. The casino spokesman says it's the biggest payoff in Nevada history.
John F. Kennedy Jr. will be leaving an expedition searching for sunken gold to study third world problems this fall at the University of New Delhi in India.
On the Tube tonight, a night of new shows you won't see again.
With 3 pilots on TV tonight, you'd think it was an early start to the fall season, but it's not. The commercial networks have simply run out of reruns and are putting on pilots that were rejected for the fall schedule. CBS offers a comedy about a widowed assistant DA who moves with his son to 13 13th Avenue, only to find out his neighbors are the Addams family. CBS follows that with a pilot for a series that would have been called Sutter's Bay. It's about a pregnant single school teacher and her predictable problems with the small-town school board. NBC counters with a pilot of its own, Pump Boys and Dinettes on Television, a musical comedy based on the Broadway play. All are new, they've never been seen on TV before, and probably never will be seen again. ABC has no pilots tonight, but it has no reruns either. It's Monday Night Baseball. The Expos take on the Cardinals at St. Louis. With an eye on TV, I'm Mark Huffman.
It's 7:39.
It's not easy being a mole. I mean, spending all your time digging around in the dark. You can't see a thing down here. And all there is to do is just dig, 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 chop, 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 dig, dig, dig. Holy moly! I think I took one dig too many.
If you are planning to dig a hole, tear down a building, or engage in any other earth-moving activity, one thing you want to avoid is cutting underground utility lines. As part of its damage prevention program, Indiana Gas Company reminds you that cutting into a gas line or any other utility line can be dangerous, costly, and inconvenient. Don't take a chance. Just one toll-free call at least 2 days before you dig can eliminate the guesswork. Call toll-free 1-800-382-5544. Take a tip from Holy Moly and don't dig blind. This message brought to you by Indiana Gas Company.
Dig, 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 chop, chop, chop. Holy moly, I did it again.
Indianapolis weather, mostly sunny and fair through tomorrow. High today 88, low tonight 64, tomorrow's high 90. Under cloudy skies, 70 degrees at the airport, 67 degrees at WIBC.
Get ready, Indianapolis. There's something new on your horizon. As 2 great names in driving come together. Collins Dodson, bringing together the #1 import of today with a dealer whose name is mint quality for over 25 years. Now there's 2 great names in driving at 4080 Lafayette Road.
At WIBC at 18 minutes before 8 with Gary Todd. A reminder, 350, our Break the Bank jackpot total. Well, it's fun being down there in the parking lot. And we had fathers and the kids come in, and we had moms and the little ones coming on by, and we're pouring the Tropicana Pure Premium, handing out those free hats, as Big John called them, from Tropicana. And the certificate's good for Pure Premium at your favorite supermarket, and there's still a few left, so we had 100, and when they're gone, that's going to be it. But if you're in the vicinity of 9292 North Meridian, just come on by. We still have Mark and Jed down there, and the people from Tropicana, and we've even got curb service. Just pull up with your window rolled down, and we're going to send you on your way to work with a smile on your face this morning.
Good morning from Big John in the 1070 Whirlybird. We have some sunshine now around I-65 and 465 here on the south side of town. But as you move north on 65, number 1, you're going to get into some heavier traffic as you approach the Raymond Street Exchange and then the South Split. It's pretty doggone heavy, but it's moving along well and accident-free. But there's a touch of rain up in through there, and some of it momentarily kind of heavy. You'll also find some delays on Meridian Street, right around Arizona. That's the 1400 block south. There's a fire truck in the southbound lanes, and sometimes they almost shut all the traffic down into one lane, but just kind of cope with that. They're still smoking away over there at the former Carnival Supply Place. A lot of smoke pouring into the sky. It's all white now, and the wind shifted direction a little bit, but it still stretches out primarily to the west and then to the north. As you get in the vicinity of 21st and Shadeland, you'll find some delay in the northbound lanes because of the picketing there at the Western Electric plant. But generally, the interstates are working well, and folks seem to be on time this morning at Gary's Place, WIBC.
Ragweed's growing all over the place.
Get Allerest, the highest level allergy relief you can buy without a prescription. Allerest mows down ragweed symptoms. Use as directed.
They knew the right show to put that commercial on, didn't they? Bake will be here with a sports update in just a couple of minutes at WIBC. John's right, it is a little cloudy up to the north and to the east at this hour.